What's up? It's your boy, Reviewer Rick, or so I don't know, some stupid name here. And today I was gonna review the Snyder Cut. I was kind of like waiting for Warner Brothers to give me an advance copy. I emailed them and they said that they didn't know who I was and to stop contacting them. So like that was annoying. But then I figure, okay, I'll just buy an HBO Max subscription and watch it like a normal person. But turns out like this is a little embarrassing, but I spent all my money on Funko Pops, and I don't have enough money for an HBO Max subscription right now. So the Snyder Cut review will be delayed indefinitely until my fans give me enough money to pay for an HBO Max subscription. So actually, I'm changing this. It's going to be a Hell's Kitchen review, specifically Hell's Kitchen Season 4, Episode 9. All right, so we're starting off the episode. Roseanne's out. She's out. I don't know, like, she wasn't the best. She definitely was probably one of the worst, but I don't know how Matt made it through another elimination. It's just crazy to me. Every service, he seemed like he had one good service, but every other service, it seems like he's lost. I don't know how Matt's still in this episode, but, that's about it. Then all of a sudden, they do a challenge where it's like a relay race, but in the kitchen because they're all bad at communicating. And the blue team loses because they missed two sauces, and that's just I had to agree with Ramsey there. That's just unacceptable. You can't miss two sauces. So while the red team gets to surf, the blue team has to do laundry. And Jen and Bob, or no, I think that was the other episode. I don't know. They have to do some task that no person would want to do. And then the red team goes surfing, which is like, I guess that's nice. But if I were on the Hell's Kitchen, cooking staff or whatever, and I'm spending all these stressful days, no sleep, I would not want. I just want like a couch I could fall asleep on for a few hours. Like the idea of like, because they don't get a lot of sleep, they get like 6 hours at most, and it's just you're in the kitchen, you're so stressed out, and then it's like, haha, now go surf. I'm like, I just want to go to sleep, Chef Ramsay. But there was some fun moments surfing. We saw fan favorite John Philippe. He comes and Chef Ramsay picks him up and dunks him, and they have a little water fight. It's great because a lot of times you see Ramsay being rude to John Philippe, but it's great to see they're friends. They're friends. He's just playing it up. They're having a good old time. So then they got to make menus, and Jen kind of takes control of the whole team, and Lou Ross is very angry about this, but that's also the thing with Lou Ross is he needs to speak up more. He needs to have that confidence. So then they share their menus. The red team, they're fine. They worked as a team, while the blue team was like, no, this is not really our menu. This is Jen's menu, and Gordon Ramsay's like, well, I don't like this menu, so fix it. So then they got their way eventually. Just shows once again their teams are not doing well. And then service happens. That's what we're really here for. We're here for the service, the nightly service. That's what we're here for. And so Matt screws up again. He makes this extremely salty pasta, and this is like a recurring theme throughout the service until Ramsay figures out that it's his sweat in the sauce that's making it so salty. And I don't know how he wasn't thrown out, right? People have been thrown out during service before. That happened with Josh was his name in season 3, and it's like, well, how does this not constitute being thrown out? But service continues. Petroza is not tidy, but he gets his stuff done, and Lou Ross keeps messing up. He keeps sending raw meat, and Ramsay does not like raw meat. He's getting very angry. So Matt's salty pasta, and this salty pasta, gets yelled at, and he just kind of shuts down, and that leaves Corey and Christina to really pick up the slack. But they do work well together as a team, which is kind of ironic, because in the first few episodes, they were like sworn enemies, but now they have to rely on each other because they're all they got left. So it's interesting to see how the dynamics change as the season progresses. So Lou Ross is doing raw steak, and there's walkouts, which is the thing. If I were in the Hell's Kitchen restaurant, I would not walk out, because you might get your food. Like, I don't know, it depends how far you are in the season on your chances, but you might get your food. Like, at this point, season 4, you gotta know, there's a chance I'm not getting food. Maybe I'll have a little snack before this. Maybe I'll just really just be resolved. I'm probably just gonna eat bread. If I get my food, I get my food, and we can swing by like a McDonald's after or something. I don't know why these people are still surprised. And then once again, Jen, I think it's soufflés that they're raw. and she was in charge of desserts, I believe, and she's saying it's not her fault. And this once again shows like Jen cannot take responsibility for anything, and it's really starting to. I mean, it's starting to annoy me. I can only imagine how it's starting to annoy the blue team too. But overall, service is completed. They stick it out, and Ramsey says that the blue team lost, and I'm not really sure I agree with that. I mean, obviously, like they're not showing everything, but Matt was sweating into his pasta so much that it was like overly salty. I mean, yeah, Lou Ross had some bad steaks, but like, I don't know. I just don't see how Matt's still in this. So then, on the blue team, it comes down to Petroza. He nominates Lou Ross and Jen for the final, and we all know it's going to be a Lou Ross. He's just like, even though Jen's a little annoying, Lou Ross is the weaker cook, and Ramsey does something special where he makes Petroza choose who's out. And Petroza chooses Lou Ross, and it's sad, but it's the right decision. And then Ramsey tells Jen and Matt to take off their jackets, and they're like, "Oh my God, this is crazy! This is like, what's gonna happen? Is it like a triple elimination? Is it a double elimination?" And then he has them switch teams again, so they're right back where they started. It's now men versus women again. And I'm here wondering, how is Matt still in this? Like, it's just crazy to me. It's just really like, I don't know. It's just it's amazing how some people like can just continually fail, but they'll be on a good team that's just carrying them. But it is what it is. There's been a lot of mixing and matching of teams this season. I think it's actually a good thing because it's kind of keeping it fresh. The first season was not meant. The first season was crazy. I don't get into that stuff. But the second season was men versus women, and then the third season was the second season was mostly men versus women. I think Heather went to the men's team at one point. And then the third season, again, is men versus women. And now it's like, okay, well, is it going to be men versus women again? But, they're mixing and matching, kind of like switching up the team dynamics, which is good. And, just some notes, extra notes. I don't know. I'm starting to wonder, like, is Ramsey's method really the best method? Like, is yelling at someone, like, he says, like, he pushes them because he thinks that's how he gets the best out of them. I'm not really sure if like that's gonna work, and I feel like some of his stuff like kind of goes over the line. Like in the beginning, during the relay race challenge, Matt's running and Ramsey makes a fat joke, and it's just like, well, that's kind of just uncalled. Like that's just you're just insulting him. You're not insulting his skill. You're not doing anything. You're just kind of like you're just making fun of his weight, and it seems a little uncalled for. And then I think it's when Lou Ross cooks a raw steak again, Ramsey slams the steak against a plate so the glass breaks, and it's just like, that you don't want broken glass in a kitchen. I haven't had little to no kitchen experience really, but I do know you don't want broken glass there. So, just little thoughts about how, like, because I see a lot of comments where it's like, how hard is it for these chefs that have already cooked to complete a service? And it's like, it's a stressful environment. I don't blame them for just, I'm sure I couldn't do any better. But overall, I'll give it a 7 out of 10. It was about an average episode, but the ending with the mixing and matching of teams really got me. It really threw me for a loop. I'm excited to see what comes next in the season. It's a bit longer now. Typically, the past 3 seasons have been about 10, 11 episodes, and this is a 15-episode one. So I was kind of confused because I'm like, oh, episode 9, and we're here. And then I look up the episode count, and it's 15 episodes. I'm like, okay, they're starting to spread it out a little more, give people more time, and, I appreciate it. I'm not exactly sure who I'm really rooting for. I don't have anyone that I really like. But I feel like as it comes down to less people, you start to kind of attach to one because you're like, all right, here are my options. Here's the people that have a chance. Like in the beginning, it's not really always clear. Yeah, so overall, Hell's Kitchen gets a 7 out of 10. And, the Snyder Cut, I'll give that a 10 out of 10 too. It's great, I'm sure. Overall, yeah, I hope you like this review. I know it's not everything you were expecting, but I pride myself on my reviews, and I still think I have some insights to give. Comment down below who your favorite Hell's Kitchen contestant is, and I'll try to get back to you. Subscribe for way more Snyder Cut content, I promise.